Based on the last video I did about spending time outside, I got some feedback if I could talk a little bit more about how we actually find time to spend time with ourselves. And it's a topic that comes up very frequently with my clients. Just this week, in 2 individual conversations, we had to talk about how do we find that half an hour every day that is just by ourselves. The easiest way, and that's probably the way that most people don't enjoy, is to get up half an hour earlier. So if you live with a partner, if you have children, you know that mornings can be quite active and hectic, trying to get everybody ready and get them out of the house. But by getting yourself up just 30 minutes earlier, you have a moment to meditate if you want to try your hand at that. I've talked about that a lot in the past. You can sit and read literature. You can sort of slowly get into your morning routine, but it's time where you don't have to be something or somebody for anybody else. If the morning is not for you, another trick is to literally schedule it in your calendar. So every day after lunch, for example, you have a half an hour that cannot be booked by anybody but yourself. And whether you go for a walk around the office, outside of the office, or whether you go to a meeting room and sit by yourself and do doodling, whatever it is that you do, just 30 minutes in the middle of the day where you, again, don't have to think about anything in the business, don't have to be anything for anybody else, can be helpful. And then, of course, the last option is to do it in the evening. But the problem with the evening is we tend to, again, have an evening routine with family and dinner and maybe putting some kids to bed. And then, of course, you also want to spend time with your partner. And before you know it, you're exhausted. And maybe you just plump down on the couch and watch Netflix for the evening. And that's not really time for yourself because your brain is still stimulated and has a bunch of input. So if you're struggling finding time for yourself, I'd encourage you to do it in the morning. It may sound tough to get up half an hour earlier, but honestly, it's just a question of planning your bedtime and going to bed a little bit earlier, which I've also talked a lot about. So I'd encourage you to try it. Set the alarm for 30 minutes before everybody else wakes up. Spend that time the best way you can by yourself, without a screen, without music, without other things, but just kind of be quiet with yourself in the space that you live in. And I'm pretty sure you'll see remarkable results pretty quickly.